The Secret of the Hidden Scrolls, Book 2, Race for the Ark, Chapter 9, All Aboard. The next morning, Noah woke Peter and Mary for a breakfast meeting. Noah's wife told them to get something to eat before Ham ate it all. Peter didn't have to be told twice. He dug into the eggs. "We need a plan to get the animals on the ark," Noah said. "Ask Mary," said Peter with his mouth full. "She knows everything about animals." "What do you think, Mary?" said Shem. "Where should we put all the animals?" Mary unrolled one of Noah's blank scrolls. She drew an arc with lines across it for 3 floors. She wrote the word big on the bottom floor. The bottom floor is tall and has the biggest cages. She drew a bear on the bottom floor. If an animal is bigger than a bear, bring it to the bottom floor. It will be a good place for animals like elephants, hippos, rhinos, horses, bears, and buffalo. "What about the middle floor?" asked Shem. Mary wrote the word medium on the scroll. "Move the medium-sized animals to the middle floor. It'll be a good place for animals like sheep, pigs, wolves, lions, tigers, alligators, and kangaroos. Just don't put the wolves and sheep next to each other." "Should we put the monkeys in the middle?" said Peter. He laughed. No one else did. Mary looked at Peter without blinking. "You get the idea." She drew a monkey on the middle floor. Ham took a bite of banana. "What about the top floor?" Mary wrote the word small on the scroll. "Take the tiny animals to the top floor. It's a perfect place for turtles, rabbits, raccoons, bats, bugs, butterflies, and birds. Lots of birds." Noah stood up. "We have a plan. We all work together," said Shem. "Yes," said Mary. "Teamwork makes the dream work." "That's what my mom always says," Peter said. He was really starting to miss his parents. Everyone headed off the ark to start bringing in the big animals. Hank barked at them and chased them into the cages. After all, he was a herding dog. Peter hopped on the back of a horse and joined Hank. They chased the cow and the bull into a cage. Mary shut the cage door. "Yee-haw! I'm a cowboy," shouted Peter. "What's a cowboy?" said Shem. "A guy who rides a horse," said Peter. "Why don't you call him a horse boy?" said Shem. Peter shrugged. "I don't know." Once the big animals were in, they began to bring in the medium animals. "Everybody stand back," shouted Mary. "Here come the alligators." Peter shut them in their cage. "They don't look like they're in a good mood this morning." The lions and tigers went into their cages. Peter slammed the doors quickly. He couldn't believe he was this close to wild animals. "Help with the monkeys," shouted Ham. "I can't reach them." The monkeys had climbed up the wooden beams and were swinging from the roof. Peter ran down to the bottom floor and got one of the giraffes. Back on the monkey deck, he climbed up the giraffe's tall neck, but he still couldn't reach them. "I have an idea," said Mary. She ran to the kitchen and came back with a bunch of bananas. She held them in the air. The monkeys swung down. She tossed the bananas in their cage, and the monkeys followed. When the middle floor was full, the group ate lunch before they began to gather the small animals and birds. Peter carried the turtles to the top floor. Hank chased squirrels into their cage. "Everyone duck!" shouted Peter as the birds flew through the top windows. Colorful feathers were everywhere. Peter shut the last door of the last cage. "We did it!" shouted Noah. "All the animals and birds are in the ark." Peter tried to give Noah a high five, but Noah just looked at Peter's hand. "That was awkward," mumbled Peter. After a big dinner, everyone headed off to their bedrooms. Peter took out Great Uncle Solomon's journal and wrote about his exciting day. Day 3. "Hank is great at herding the animals. I hope we have enough food. My back is sore from riding the horse. Mary sneezed all day. I'm not sure if she's more allergic to hay or to work. And those monkeys are going to drive me crazy." Ding, ding. Peter tossed the journal in the bag and scrambled to the door. Noah was running down the hall, ringing a bell. "We have an emergency," said Noah. "The monkeys escaped and are letting out the other animals." They ran to the middle deck where monkeys were swinging through the ark. Animals were everywhere. Peter pushed the sheep back into their cage. Ham pulled the pigs into theirs. Mary used a net to catch the birds. Jephthah grabbed the turtles. They hadn't gotten very far. Finally, Noah's wife found some more bananas and tricked the monkeys again. Peter, Mary, and Hank made one last round to make sure all the animals were in their cages and the doors were shut tight. Peter stopped at the tiger's cage and stared. There was only one tiger inside. There was supposed to be 2 of everything. "I think we have a problem," he shouted. Mary and Hank were there in a flash. "What's wrong?" Mary said. Peter pointed at the half-empty cage. Grrr. Peter whirled around. The missing tiger was crouched low, and he was creeping right towards them.